Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. Welcome to the Grow Tent, everybody. You have found the best cannabis growing channel on YouTube, man. The place where we simplify the approach for you so everyone can learn how to grow. We make it so simple, even I can understand. So I'm going to listen and learn right now.
Woo! What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Grow Tent. We got a great episode for you today. Today we're going to be talking about lollipopping and how doing it incorrectly is probably costing you yield. How also not doing it would cost you yield. So, like everything with this plant, there is a fine balance in between the two. And today I'm going to show you with a little diagram of where you should be doing it, how often you should be doing it, and what weeks you really need to pay attention to it. But first, as always, the intro. Guys, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, watch the full video. It helps out the channel a ton. Guys, if you didn't know, our merch store is live. Today is the very last day for you to be able to get some of our limited edition t-shirts. I made 3 new designs for a collab with Ragnarok and Dark Horse, and I think you guys would really like them. You can go check them out at WTTGT. The store closes today, and one of the orders from the time the store's been open this week is going to get $500 stuck in it on top of it. If anybody is in the comments saying anything about you won, those are scammers. I don't ever post in the comments that you won anything. And we're back, guys. We're back. One of everybody's favorite topics, probably one of the topics I get questions on, is I'd say besides watering and learning how to accurately tell when the correct time to water the plants is. I would say probably lollipopping is one of the questions I get the most of. So I did a terrible dry erase board diagram of something that I hope won't get age restricted, because no part of it looks like it has sea leaves on it. I just made the leaves, like the tops, the nodal sites, just stars on a blue dry erase board. So we'll see how this works. All right. So in this picture, we're going to be talking about lollipopping. And first off, when should you lollipop? So lollipopping is something we do weeks 2 of flower through week 7 of flower. You do it 1 time a week. The very first time you do it, it's going to be like a mess down there, since we wait till the end of week 2 flower to do it. So there'll be a lot of stuff down there you have to clean off. So it's going to take you the longest the first week. That still doesn't mean it's going to take you a long time. It's going to take you about 30 seconds to a minute a plant, and then you're going to move on to the next, and move on to the next, and move on to the next. So the more plants you have, obviously, the more time this will take. But it's not too bad, because after the first time you do it, the growth that comes back is very slow. There's not a lot that happens down there, but you still need to keep it clean. Arm itches. So the first time you do it, it's going to take you a while. You're going to do it start of week 2, or not start of week 2, the end of week 2 through week 7 of flower. You're going to do it 1 time. Just pick out 1 day a week. You're like, hey, Saturdays, I'm going to be in the tin anyway. I'm going to go down there, and that's whenever I'm going to lollipop my plants. I'm doing it every Saturday, week 2 through 7. The thing I want to talk about the most is, what I see a ton of is people, how much vertical height they lollipop off of the plant. What I end up seeing is people will just keep lollipopping up the plant. I don't know if they don't understand how high they're supposed to go, but they end up with only leaving the very top of the plant is all they leave. And whenever you do it that way, you actually do cost yourself a considerable amount of your yield by only leaving that top part of the canopy. And you're like, well, GT, what's the top part? So here's my diagram that I drew. Don't yell at me. I know it's terrible. But what you can see here is, I can stop doing my hand moves now because they're obviously the picture's covering, but just know, back behind this picture, I'm still moving my hands around. This picture, you see 3 different levels to the plant. I've kind of diagrammed it out. I basically broke it into thirds. So you got A section, B section, and C section. All these sections are equal amounts. There's, they're just say 33%, each one of them. So you can see down there in the bottom, there's A section, in the middle is B section, and then in the top of the plant, that C section, that's where all your great, big colas will be, is up there in C section. But in B section, what I see a lot of times is people will actually lollipop off the complete A section, and then they'll lollipop off the complete B section on top of it. Whenever you're lollipopping, you're only really looking to clean up that bottom third of the plant, and that's from the top of the pot to right underneath the middle of the plant. what happens is people will take off A and B, and whenever they do, they're going to end up costing themselves. It's not, the main part of your yield, of course, will always be the very top of the plant. That's the best part of the plant. But what happens is when you take off that B section, you actually end up costing yourself about 30-ish% of your yield just by lollipopping up too high. And what I end up seeing is I see all these gardens, they have the very top of their canopy, like sitting in their scrog net or whatever, and then the whole rest of the plant is just antlers. It's just a skeleton of the rest of the plant. And you actually do cost yourself quite a bit. And it's not like that the giant colas that you're costing yourself. What you're costing yourself is like those nice, golf ball size nugs that all sit in that area. And do you have to keep those? No, but you will increase your yield dramatically. Like if every time you're like, man, I don't get nearly the amount that I should be getting from the square footage of my tent. And a lot of times it's because you're lollipopping these plants up too tall and you end up with just this skeletonized frame. So if you've ever been growing and you're looking at your gardens at the end and you just have that like top 6 inches of canopy and then the whole rest of the plant is just antlers, and when I say like on a deer, antlers, it's just stick with nothing on it. This is probably what's happening, is either that or you're topping too early and not letting any lower nodal sites, and then you end up with kind of the same problem. But if you're not topping too early or too often, and you're still ending up with plants that just have that top row, like top 6 inches of bud and stuff like that, a lot of times it's because they're lollipopping too aggressively like this. I would actually prefer no lollipopping over the overdoing it of the lollipopping, but neither one is good. If you just kind of take the picture down for a second, but if you just kind of stick to this diagram, people overcomplicate, and what happens is a lot of times if you're sitting above your plant, so if you're above your plant like this and looking down on it and like lollipopping below you, what happens is since you're looking down on it like this, what you think is a third of the plant is actually way up here, so you end up lollipopping way up the plant. What I do, I don't have to do it anymore, but what you'll find is better is if you take and you lower yourself down to where you're kind of looking at the middle of the plant instead of up above it, working over it. If you bring yourself down to where you're more eye level with it, it's way easier to judge where like the bottom third of the plant is, because whenever you're sitting at above angle of it, it distorts your view of where the bottom of the plant is. Let's see, can I bring just this picture up so I'm in the same picture? In the picture at the same time, we'll make the picture a slight bit smaller. Another thing that I see is, okay, so we've got the plant here, and you can see there are branches that are, the bottom of the branch starts in the A section, but then it carries up into the B and then into the C section. Like, just look at this one on the very edge here. You can see down there at the bottom, it starts in the A section, then it curves out, and then it gets into the B section, and then all the way up to the top into the C section. You can see we've cleaned off the bottom of the branch that's in the A section, but as soon as it transitions into the middle of the plant, look, you can see on there we haven't cleaned any of it up. So this is another thing that people are messing up, whereas they're like, well, the branch starts down here, so I clean it all the way till it gets to the top. No, as soon as it breaks into like the middle of the plant, we stop lollipopping it. Just because it started down there doesn't mean you have to clean it all the way up, because it's part of that bottom. So a lot of people I'll see, they'll take it and they'll clean it all the way up to the top and they'll strip off that whole middle section. This is incorrect. That is not what you want to do. As soon as they transition through the levels, you stop. So if you have one that starts in A and then it goes into B, then you only clean what's in the A section. Now, if we had that same branch and instead of curling up like this, it was one of those where it just kind of went out like this and it never went up into B, well, instead of cleaning that branch off, we would just clip that entire branch. We wouldn't leave it there, just strip it and leave it there. We would actually just go back to the main stalk, clip that branch off, the entire thing. But since it curls up into the next section and it's a viable branch that's going to make it to our canopy, we leave the branch, clean the bottom that's in the A section, and then leave everything that's in the B section. But if it was, more outward tint, growing like that, never goes up into the middle, we just clip the whole branch. That's how you decide is whether you strip some of the branch or clip the entire branch off. guys, I hope this helps you out with your lollipopping. This is, once you get used to this, this is something that takes you about 30 seconds, 45 seconds per plant. You don't even think about it. You can literally just sit there, look at it, and be like, and you run right through it. You will increase your yields by growing it like this. I promise you. I do it every time. My yields are always off the charts, and you'll find that if you do this, you'll have the exact same kind of growing. And hope you guys are all having a fantastic weekend. And we've got 1 week left, guys, of me. I've gone live or dropped a video every single day for the entire month of February. I hope you guys, if you guys haven't been hanging out with us, I hope you check it out. We've got 1 week left, a little bit less than 1 week left. So today is the 23rd. This will go on till the 28th. I hope you guys come check it out. I'll see you guys next time. For today, I'm out of here. I'm GT. I'll see you guys next time.